Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into Semantic Era. We're diving into episode 6. I just finished watching episode 5, and per usual, it ended in a place that made me want to jump to the next episode because I'm like, y'all can't keep doing this. Y'all can't keep doing this. But basically, Song-woo was upset at Jae-young because he was making him feel some sort of way, and he didn't understand it. He didn't understand his feelings. So Jae-young got his feelings hurt, and he went on his merry way. It's like, fine, I'll leave him alone. But then Jae-young Song-woo started to find that the absence of Jae-young was making him not quite run as normally as he thought. It didn't take him back to normal. It didn't take him back to where he was before. Like something was missing, and he couldn't figure things out. He's wearing his clothes inside out. He's spacing out. He's not learning anything while he's doing his homework. And we as the audience started to see him crush harder and harder without even knowing it. I'm doing his whole Instagram stalking and all this kind of stuff. And then we ended the episode with Song-woo and Sweet Girl at the restaurant that Jae-young works at. And Song-woo went outside to find Jae-young because Jae-young saw him and like bolted because like, I don't want to deal with this. And it's like, Jae-young, hang up your phone. I have something important to tell you. It's like, oh Lord Jesus, okay, come on, drama. So we're gonna dive in and just see what's so important that he had to tell him. Lord, my baby done snapped. His brain has malfunctioned. He is not in his right mind. He is not thinking clearly. Oh Lord. Earlier episodes, I'm saying he was all logos and no pathos. He's all logic, and he's not thinking with any emotion. Now he's just running purely on just, okay, my feelings are telling me to do this, and I'm just throw all logic to the wind. I'm like, baby, we gotta find a happy medium. We gotta find a nice balance, because you can't just go around kissing people in their sleep all willy nilly all the time. I won't give y'all the full speech. Y'all know blah 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 whatever. Man, yeah. But like, Lord, baby, calm down. Calm down. Oh Jesus. Um, very cute episode. Lots of things. Lots of little things. So, the first like third of the episode was Song-woo trying to convince Jae-young to come and make this game with him. Come make this game with me, please, 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 please. It can, and like we've talked about, Song-woo is not necessarily the best at expressing what he's feeling in a very warm, emotional kind of level. Like he tends to express himself very clinically, very cold, and like these are the this is what I'm feeling. These are the words that, like, it's not warm, it's not inviting, it's just very, yes, this is how I'm feeling, blah 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 blah. So but even in that way, like if you understand how his mind is working, you can kind of sort of read between his cold clinical words and see and interpret the warmth that is there, even though it may not be how he's trying to say it is there. So when they were outside the restaurant, and he's like, I want you to make the game with me. And Jae-young's like, I can't keep up with your silliness, this, that. I'm like, no, you can't talk to me. You can't call me that. I only said you could call me that before. You can't call me that now, blah, 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 blah. And he's ready to walk off, and he's like, I please reconsider. Like, I want to make the game with you. It has to be you. It can be only you. You're the only one. Like, that's not him saying like it has to be you. You can be the only. You're the only one because you know, you drew that picture and I was really, really good, and I'm like set on that picture, no one else can draw that picture. Like, it's not that thing. It's like it could very easily come off that way because of the way he's expressing himself and the way that he's choosing, well, just the way he chooses his words. Like, it could come off very much to somebody who was not on the know, not on the inside like we are, who don't know what's going on in his heart and in his head. Like, it can come off very much like, hey, I liked your design, so it has to be you. I'm set on this design, I'm set on this, and it has to be you. So you have to do this, and just reconsider. I'll do anything. It has to be you. Making it seem like it's all about the project. But to us people who've been watching the series and who know what's going on in his head, it's very much that case of, I'm using this project as an excuse to spend time with you. So either way, this project's gonna get done. I'm gonna get it done, but I would very much like you to be the person to help me with this project. It has to be you because I want to spend the time with you. We gotta just read between the lines. We gotta read between the lines and get to the heart of what he's saying. So in that sense, I like the writing, I like the character development, and even though, like I said, even though he's saying things very cold and clinically, enough development has happened that we can interpret what he's saying. We can put it through Google Translate and interpret it in a more artistic, warm, loving sort of manner, and, you know, really break down what he's trying to say there. So first third of the episode was him just trying to get Jaeyoung to come work with me. And like, I understand where Jaeyoung was coming from for the first third, like, because he just got his feelings hurt. He just got his feelings hurt last episode. So the last thing I would want to do is have someone who just hurt my feelings come along and be like, hey, actually, you know what, I changed my mind. And like, me be like, oh, okay, cool, let's do this. Like, no, I wouldn't want to seem like a pushover, or like it's okay to do that. Like, I wouldn't want to reinforce that sort of behavior. So like, my natural tendency or my natural inclination would be like, if that situation were to present itself, would be like, no, even if on the inside I was super duper happy, like, yes, this is kind of what I've been wanting, like, I want to spend time with him, I like this boy, like, my gut instinct response would be like, no, you can't just come along and start doing all this kind of stuff. Like, make sure that they understand the error of their ways, understand what they did wrong before embarking on something. Like, because you just don't want to reinforce those sort of negative behaviors. You don't want to reward that. So I understand where Jaeyoung is coming from. Very much that sort of, no, I'm not going to dive into that. I'm not going to just because you came around. No, I ain't got time for this. But you could see that, you know, he wanted to. And the more that Sangwoo talked throughout that conversation, and throughout the conversation when he brought back the folder to Sangwoo, when Sangwoo was reading the books about how to persuade and convince people, like, he handed him the folder and he walked off, and then Sangwoo got up and started talking. Like, oh, maybe that was the conversation. It has to be yeah, that's when that conversation took place. Sorry, I jumped ahead. I mixed up my conversations. But like, he's talking, and the more words he's saying, like, Jaeyoung is gotten to the point where he can kind of read between these lines too. So he can kind of read between the clinical cold words he's saying and feel some of the warmth. So Jaeyoung went into that situation like, okay, I'm going to give him back this folder, and, you know, that's that. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to act strong, and I'm not going to, you know, let him see me crumble or anything like that. I'm not going to feel weak or anything like that. I'm just going to give him his folder and, you know, walk off. And then Sangwoo just keeps talking. He keeps talking. He keeps saying words, and like, every word he's saying, like, you could just feel like the wall that Jaeyoung built up to kind of protect himself, brick by brick, just doop, Songwoo's talking. All right, we're gonna take this brick down. All right, where's that sledgehammer? Let's just, and it's just like you could just see him just melting like, oh. I was melting along with him because I'm like, baby, you better express yourself, use your words. Maybe not those words, but okay, fine. I get the point of what you're trying to say, baby. So he was just a puddle. I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. So that resolved itself, and then we jumped straight into business. We jumped straight into designing this game, and Songwoo is very, as we know, this is nothing new. He's very by the books, by the rules, A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. Where Jae Young's a little bit more relaxed and chill and kind of just go with the flow. So, you know, different work styles coming together to, you know, create this art. So it's fun to see their interactions. The phone call was adorable. Lunchtime with what's her face and Jae Young and Songwoo. Interesting. Again, if she was just playing the friend role, she was just swooping in here to just be his friend, great. I just hate to see her get her feelings hurt, and the further we get into this, the more that she keeps trying. But at the same token, I'm like, baby girl, you at a certain point you gotta realize that it's just not on the cards for you and this boy. So like, you keep trying and trying and trying, and he's not showing you any of that sort of romantic interest, attention you're trying to get out of him. So either you've got to be very forthright with him and say, hey, I like you, I would like to date you, would you go on a date with me? Or you've got to move on to someone else who can read the signals a little bit better, because you're gonna get your feelings hurt, and like, I don't want to see her get her feelings hurt. So I need her to either have the foresight to realize that this is not the relationship for her, or to just verbally say it to him, because Songwoo, like we said, doesn't necessarily understand emotions in the best sense. So he's kind of blind and oblivious when it comes to her and her crush. So she needs to just outright, and I feel like she's been around him enough to realize how he's kind of processes information. So she needs to outright be like, hey, I would like to date you, or move on to someone else, because I don't want to see her get her feelings hurt. And I feel like that's what we're gearing towards. She's gonna get her feelings hurt. When the restaurant guy was like, hey, that pretty girl, bring her in here again, I'll treat her good, I'm like, please, yes, distract her from Songwoo, please. Give her a happy ending with somebody else. I don't care who she ends up with, but I just don't want to see her get her feelings hurt. So the first sign that somebody else who popped up in the situation who showed her any kind of interest, I'm like, yes. But then also, I guess Jae Young's friend was also interested in her. I think that's what I was gathering from the Instagram post he was showing him, like, hey, look at this guy, because that was from their lunch or dinner that they were having. But yeah, so that was interesting. They're both just fighting. They're fighting for their man, and I mean, obviously we know which one's gonna win that fight, because Songwoo's heart is fixated on one of them and not the other one. So, we had the whole head patting situation, like he's a damn puppy dog. Adorable. And then I love the aftermath of that, where he's like, you did a good job, I'm gonna pat your head. And like, this was just such a magical experience for Jae Young. He was like, what the fuck is happening right now? I don't understand, but he's touching me, okay. And then Songwoo's like, bye. And then Jae Young's like, the fuck? And grabs him by the book bag, like, what the fuck was that? It's like, I don't want to tell you. I'm like, bro, what was that? Adorable. And then I like the sort of call back to the head pat, when they were walking at night, the romantic moonlight walk through the college campus with the trees behind him, and just and then he's like, I would like to pat your head in 1 minute. He's like, okay, he's following the rules. He's following the rules. He's asking for consent, and he's giving you a time limit. He's letting you know when it's gonna happen. But then that head pat turned into a around the back, swoop to the face. I'm like, okay, this is not a pat. This is a full-on caress. I'm not upset about it, but you're using the wrong verb. It's the wrong verb, but it's okay. I ain't mad about it. He don't seem mad about it either. He's like, you know what? Let's just do what we like together. I'm like, bitch, stop. You better stop. You better stop, girl. Oh, Jae-young is good. He's good at saying these things that make me want to melt. Like, you know, just leaning in and like, do you want to see a movie? And then he comes back like, let's do what we like together. I'm like, oh, baby, you better stop it. You better stop it, Jae-young. I'm a married man. I'm married to the Lord. And, you know, you better stop. Yeah, that was another cute moment. Them working together in, you know, Jae-young's, like, workspace. Cute. Jae-young's friend there, obviously, not a huge fan of Song-woo. So that's a fun little dynamic. And then we had the whole little kissy thing there at the end, which I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but y'all already know. I know the intent behind it wasn't malicious or anything. And there's nothing like that, but you know, still we like conscious consensual kisses on this channel. But yeah, all in all, cute. And we've only got 2 episodes left. I still got a couple hours before I got to go to the show. So, you know, I could potentially bust these out. Or who knows, maybe I'll save them. I don't know. We'll see. If I'm still wearing this shirt in episode 7 and episode 8's reaction, then you know what happened. But hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications so be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. Love you guys.